Alright, let's get started. Right, today's webinar we'll be looking at SolidWorks Electrical 2014. It has been a very exciting year, 2013 so far for SolidWorks Electrical. There's been many improvements along the year, and there's been many new features introduced along the year in 2013. But 2014 is a major upgrade, and it brings a lot of very exciting new features, and also keeping all the good features of the past years and years. So to those of you who don't know what SolidWorks Electrical is, about 2 years ago, just a quick introduction to SolidWorks Electrical. Back in late 2012, SolidWorks introduced a new electrical CAD package called SolidWorks Electrical. It's not a total new CAD package to the market. It has been out in the market for many years by SolidWorks partner company. But in late 2012, SolidWorks have introduced it as a SolidWorks Electrical as their own product. And since then it has been improving day by day basically. So let's get it going and look at it, what's new in 2014 and what is exciting in 2014. Some of the quick features that I'll show you here, and obviously we will look at it, we'll do and perform all these features, use all these features in today's webinar as well. For example, just a workflow from the beginning of the project to the end of the project is a lot much more smoother than it was ever it was. For example, the moment you start up a project, there's a new filtering option inside your project manager. There's a single line, multi-line schematic can be done on a single page. You can cut paste. There's a different option. There's a much improved location and function outlines. There's a new types of symbol introduced in there called passive symbols, which obviously do not have any electrical functionality to it, but those symbols are to represent, such as shields on the wire and few different things that usually we don't need any electrical functionality. Those symbols don't have any electrical functionalities to it. Also, has a new search tool, which is much more improved search tool than it was in 2013. And also there's a lot more features, such as wipeout drawing tool. We can hide certain symbols and certain certain part of the drawing by using the wipeout tool, so that those parts would still be a part of a drawing, but we can just simply hide them off the drawing. There's a special paste command. There's whole heaps of different features that has been introduced in 2014. Also on the electrical 3D side, the wire routing is much more improved now. It's about 5 to 8 times faster, thanks to basically multi-core option. It uses multi-cores rather than single core for the routing, so hence it is much faster than it used to be. Okay. Also, the harness support is much better than it was in 2013. We'll obviously look at that as well, and also some more harness features. So let's quickly, and before I get into harness, there's also a new feature been introduced in there called calculation reports. So we can actually calculate the voltage drop, power drop, and all these few different things on our wires and the cables that we use in our project. So let's quickly start up the project and see how it all looks like. Okay, so kept the similar ribbon style. There's not much a difference on the interface side. So you click on project manager, and the first feature, the difference you will see, is those filter option, which is towards the right hand side, filters. So here we can now filter this project. For example, if you're looking for let's type it in, so it'll give you all the projects with the same name and description. You can search those projects by creation date if you're looking for certain dates when they were created or when was the last modified. So you can search your projects by using these filters up there. So that's the project that we will be looking at it. So as most of you used to or have seen it in 2013 version, you can make your own templates. You can create your own templates based on the types of file, types of reports that you would want in your project. So for example, let's have a look from the cover page. So all these things, all from the 2013, all these fields gets filled in by the project card that you fill in at the beginning of the project. Reports drawing, Basically just a drawing list report that shows you what drawings you have in your project. So obviously I've got few drawings here, and as I'll go through, with my project, I'll have more drawings. This report will then be updated with more and more drawings in it. Okay, so now let's open up my single line drawing and also my power drawing. And the first feature, the new feature that I would like to show you, for those of you have used SolidWorks Electrical on 13, you could not actually create a single line and multi-line drawing on the same page, but now it gives you an ability to do that. And simple as that, you can just select the part of single line drawing you want to copy. So I'll just go cut from that place and then paste it on my multi-line drawing, and as easy as that, I can now, simply keeping all the same existing marks and everything of each and every symbol, just have all my single line drawing and multi-line drawing on the same page. If that's something that you guys need to do, then it is now available, this feature, to use it. Now, to change the location from multiple symbols, historically you will right click on a, in 2013 you right click on the symbol and then change the location by going into the symbol properties and then changing the location here. Now you can simply change the location by using location outline command. So I will just go location outline, draw it up, draw the box on symbols, and then pick up the location that I will need to. So for example, all my motors, I'll just go and machine and select, and then gives you an option, change the component location. So it has changed all the component locations, whatever, any symbol that falls within that outline. Okay, so that's one of the new features which has now been introduced in 2014. It is much faster way and efficient way to basically change the locations of multiple symbols at the same time of the drawing. Okay, now talked about passive symbols. There's a new types of symbol which has now then been introduced. We've known from 2012 and also in 2013, this customizing the library is much easy. So it's a very easy thing to do in SolidWorks Electrical. So we can actually customize this library as well, and also use those symbols and everything from the customized library. But what I want to do right now, actually use the passive symbol that I have created for my ground shield. So I'll apply the ground shield symbol here. Click on insert symbol, as we always do. Click on other symbol, and there's a different styles of symbols. And if I right click and give you a property, you can have a look. This symbol is now stored in a different there's a new symbol type called passive symbols, and that these symbols do not have any electrical functionality at all. You can just bring it in and drop that symbol right there, and that symbol becomes a part of your drawing, but it hasn't got any electrical functionalities or anything to it. Okay, now there's a new search tool that we can have a look at it. So I'll simply click on this binoculars, and I can type it in, take whatever we're looking for example, component, and I need a component called K1. So I can actually click here and see where is that K1 right there on my drawing. So click on it, and also gives you a preview of where is the K1 right there on my drawing. That's where it is. Okay, now the other way of searching the symbol, I can access the similar search thing from right clicking there on my components tree and also search component. So I can just type it in, either connector or something, and then you can see what I can. If there's a symbol with this type of connector, you can see it's all automatically has searched that disconnectors right there. I can actually click on it, and it will show me the preview where that is on my drawing, which I can simply right click and go to the drawing. It will take me exactly where it is on that drawing and open that drawing in the background right there. Okay, so that's another new feature in 2014. Another exciting feature is wipeout. So you can actually hide multiple symbols, multiple parts of circuit by using that wipeout feature without actually creating or without deleting any symbol of your project. So simple as that. It's as easy as just creating a line. You can create any shape. just drop it there, and you can see now I've got this. Even though I have this circuit breaker in the background, but I've just hidden, and you can then extend it whichever shape that we want it. It's just basically, and we can hide it in any form, any shape. And once it, or we can just move it around as well. So whatever underneath this symbol would be in the wipeout rectangle would then be hidden off the drawing, basically. Okay. Now the copy and reuse has always been very easy in SolidWorks Electrical. For example, you could copy anything that you wanted from one page to another page from within the same page. It would do automatic numbering of your marks and everything, but it has now it has been improved a lot than ever it was before. So simple, it's quite simple. All you'll have to do simply select what exactly we need to copy, and all this, and Control C as usual. And instead of pressing Control V, we can do Control Shift V, which will then give me a paste special command, or I can go to edit and use the paste special command right there. And what it will do, you can have a look at it in 1 minute. As soon as I drop it there, it will then give me option of what features and what properties of the copied circuit I need to actually paste it, or I want to paste it on this new circuit. So in terms of my terminal strips, do I want to create a new terminal strip or existing terminal strip? So you can create new terminal strip or keep existing. It will just add the more terminals to the terminal strip. With the component, you can select whether you want to keep existing mark or create new ones. So I'll create a new mark with all my components. And also for my location, I'll say keep existing location, and a few different options that we can change. So just go that too, fine, and simply hit OK here. And now you can see I've got all these new marks being added, upgraded, and I could have selected to keep the same marks if I wanted to. So it is a much improved copy paste functionality which has only been introduced in SolidWorks Electrical 2014. So called paste special, so which is the new copy paste function, basically has been added in there. Now another very exciting feature, for example, if I wanted to, let's just say, add some wire labels or components to it, how can we do it? It's quite easy. For example, on this part, if I forgot to do wire numbering, I can right click and now actually connect, hit this button called show hide wire labels, and it will simply add all these labels to my wires and also with the color of the wire that I have used on my drawing. We can also customize those labels, so it's not something that we cannot customize, and it's quite simple as everything. Basically just click on project and then we can go to graphic, and here we can customize all the potential labels that we are using in our project. Okay, so that's how wire marks now can be created in the middle of the project or at the end of the project. So it doesn't matter when you want to create, you can quite easily and quickly create that style of wire marks in your project. Okay, now the library. SolidWorks Electrical, as we all knew from 2012, it comes with a huge library of manufactured parts. So if you click on this manufactured part, there's a new functionality now called online content. So apart from the local content that it comes with out of the box, it has now added a new functionality called online content. So when we click on it, it basically takes us to the SolidWorks Electrical portal. So you can click on it, open up a new page, and it's called SolidWorks Electrical Content Portal. So I've already created an account, and in that account there's a new catalog which gets added all the time. We can simply click on that and also look for different catalogs that has now been added or updated regularly online. So if you want to update our library, we can quickly just simply right click here and save link as, and also save, which will save it, so give us the part file, in which can then be extracted into SolidWorks Electrical. For our 3D content library, for example, we can simply click here onto trace parts online, and then which will bring into the SolidWorks Electrical and trace parts online library. So if we click on, for example, connectors or something, or contactor, so you get to see all the contactors that it has in the library. So simply click on it, and it will then give us the option of downloading this file as a 3D SolidWorks Electrical file, which means once we download that file and extract it into SolidWorks Electrical, it will add that part, all the description, part number and everything, and also the 3D part of it, 3D file of it, into the SolidWorks Electrical library. So which is also very exciting. It's actually one of the most exciting feature in SolidWorks Electrical 2014, having an access to the online library where you can quickly search the part what you're looking for, either by the type or manufacturer or categories that you have in there. Just I'll take all the questions towards the end, so if you have any questions, I suggest you guys to write it down, and then we'll take all the questions. We'll have a question and answer section shortly. Okay, so let's just close this and get back into SolidWorks and show you some more exciting features to it. Alright, so terminal strip managers again, simple. I'll just quickly generate this terminal drawing, which has always been a strong point of SolidWorks Electrical. We can generate those terminal drawings very quickly and easily. So I'll just right click on my terminal, and I can quickly open that drawing, and you can see quickly how I've got those terminal strip drawing basically generated with all the details of the wire numbers and everything, and what is connected where, and all this description quite quickly, quite easily. Okay, so let's have a look at some more new exciting features such as the calculations, and we'll find out and see how we can do calculations in there. Okay, alright, so let's have a look quickly the calculation side of things, and I'll once I'm done with this webinar, which should be in about next 5 or so minutes, then we will look at it at the question and answer. Alright, so let's see one of the most exciting feature, which is now which is added into our project SolidWorks Electrical, called Design Rules Check, which is the calculation tool. And let's see have a look how we can do various calculations such as the voltage drop and current loss on the length of the cable. So let's quickly add some cables to my project first of all, as I've got none at the moment. So I'll just add this one, hit select, then add some properties to that cable. Alright, so you just have to apply some of the information that you need. Usually the length gets calculated from the 3D side, but if you're working in the pure 2D environment where you do not have an access to the SolidWorks Electrical 3D, you can now manually enter the length of the cables or wires in there as well. You can also add different information such as different band radius as well. Usually it's defined by the manufacturers already in the library, but you can actually manually define the band radius in there as well. So let's quickly add some more information. The applied voltage 220, and also the full load current, which is my 15 amp, and inrush factor I'll just type in 4 and hit OK. So what I'll do, I'll just quickly create a duplicate of that cable, and then I can see back into the properties it would have duplicated everything apart from the length. So I'll just put a much longer length in there, 45, hit OK, and actually now use these cables between my terminal and the motor. So let's see quickly how you can do. So select these cables, wires, and then I'll just quickly select this cable and select all the cores, associate them, and now all my wires are associated to that particular cable. Do the same thing on this one. of this cable and all these cores. Okay, and now hit OK. So let's see how we can now actually get the reports. And so if I click on this button, design rules check, which is totally new, I can see it's all automatically giving me this report called voltage drop cables, and I can see that along these lengths of the same cable, so the calculated values are right there. So it's actually giving me the voltage drop right there on that cable, and also giving me the voltage drop in terms of the percentage, calculating the peak current as well, and also the peak power loss. Let's make it maximize power loss along those on these cables. So we can do other calculations in there as well by simply selecting add, and there's different style of different types of calculation reports that we can generate, such as do we have any empty terminal strip. For example, we've got some terminal which we haven't used it, so we can generate the report for that as well. Do we have any short circuit, so we can pick up the short circuit report as well. So hit OK. So these reports, there's no empty terminal strips in there, there's no short circuit in our drawing as well, so it's not giving us any report in there. Quickly close this, and reports are much more, there's a different view for the reports as well, so we can just quickly go there, list bill of material, for example, list of wires and drawing, and add the button, and you can add more and more reports to it quite easily. Now there's a dedicated reports for PNID as well for your list of pipes, which can be used for hydraulics or pneumatics, list of wires for PNID drawings as well. So there's more reports that has been added into those templates, which can be further customized. Alright, so simply generate those reports, right click, and generates all my project reports there. And you can right click and generates all your calculation reports as well, or one by one, so all of them will be okay. Alright, and expand this, and you can see all my reports for example, voltage drop cable is right there, and that report is now being generated as a drawing file. Okay, so now let's have a look at the SolidWorks Electrical 3D and see what improvements has been made on that Electrical 3D side. So quickly open that, and let's open up this project on this side. And while this is open, I'll just open quickly another project for the harness, so we can okay. So on my first project, as you can see, it's the same sort of view that I can see all my drawings. For example, my power drawing and every other drawing that I have is now. I can view all these drawings as well for my terminal strip drawing that I have recently just generated. So all these drawings coming up here. But let's open up this electrical 3D panel layout, and then we will be able to route some wires in there and see how quickly we can do this. So okay, so yeah, under this tab, hit this button called route wires, and use splines and all components. That should be okay. So basically within a few minutes, within a few seconds basically, it will give us the accurate length and everything of that project, which we can then generate the reports of those lengths as well. The segregation manager is also much improved now. There's more than hundreds of features which has been improved in Electrical 2014. So, but some of the top ones we are looking at them right now. Okay, so you can see very quickly I've got all my wires and everything coming up, appearing on my drawing, and all the calculate lengths of these wires is also now been updated onto my reports as well. So if I just quickly go and to my electrical 2D, and alright, so that's my list of wires. I can just right click and update these reports. you can see all the wires that has been routed in my 3D panel layout. It gives me the length of those wires, and at the bottom it gives me a total length of that type of wire I would require in my project. In this case it's a 24-volt wire, so I need total of 12743.1 millimeter of length of that type of wire in my project. Okay, let's quickly close this and have a look at the harness support in SolidWorks Electrical 2014. So you can close this and basically open up this new project and harness site. Okay, let's open, first of all let's open this 2D. So this 2D drawing has been created in Electrical 2D, so I'm not going to repeat and how we create it. It's quite straightforward. You just drop in the symbols, draw a bunch of lines together, and it has been created in SolidWorks Electrical 2D. So you can just close it and let's open up the 3D files, which is generated from there. Okay, so those are the bunch of connectors I can see on my drawing. Basically these are the connectors coming from that Electrical 2D drawing which we have created in an electrical schematic. Define what type of connectors we need to use, so it has put all the connectors on my drawing as well. So let's just go and hit this button called Route Harness, and in the harness selector I'll select my harness H1, select this and hit this button Route Harness. So again, routing of the harness is also much quicker than it used to be before. Okay. Now it also allows us to actually put through harness through clips and also allow us to add coverings, and we actually be able to see all these coverings as well. And inside the harness it actually puts, let's hide this component so you can actually see, you can see all the wires are actually now exactly same color as they were defined into the Electrical 2D drawing, for example in this drawing right there. So all these colors of these wires inside the harness comes from those colors which has been defined on the 2D side. Okay, let's go in. Bring that one back. Alright, so now let's edit my assembly, and I can then simply select this one and put this through cable. Okay, and also add some covering to my harness. Okay, I'll add covering here, and then you can select the style of covering. So corrugated tube 1 inch, so I'll select that. Okay. Okay. And straight away from this you can see all this corrugated tube which has clearly been seen on the drawing has now been added to my harness. So from this drawing I can simply right click on this drawing and create a flattened route of that harness, and let's select flatten the clips. And simply so at the moment it's just generating a flattened route of that harness with all the length and everything calculated in the of all the wires in there. So let's have a look. And we can also open the same project in the 2D and also be able to generate a lot of different drawings that we would have. So this is the drawing that it has generated. So let's just move these tables. Side and if I zoom in here, you can see clearly all the colors is now been coming up on the connector as well. What color of the wire is connected on which pin? So all the wiring colors gets represented by the pins right there. Okay, and also the length of each wire gets calculated in the length section. Also it comes up with the wire number, part number, and also the bill of material right there as well. And also the covering tube gets added to the bill of material, and the length of the covering tube I would need in total is that. Okay, and also the description of each and every connector, basically with their pin details. So all this drawing gets generated into SolidWorks Electrical 2014, and it's much improved harness creation than it was in 2013. So let's go back to my presentation, and we've seen it what we can do in 2014 at a very quick glimpse. So let's take any questions.